I just want to take the time and I want to do this quick video because this is a product that I actually fell in love with for the simple fact that I understand what it takes a typical immigrant family to work, invest, save, and still have enough to support your family back home. So I came across this investment opportunity, and I've actually made some investment myself. And just as I've learned and search more information, I took the opportunity to invite Mark to be here with me today so we can explain how this investment actually is definitely a path, an opportunity for immigrant family, regardless of where you're from. Hey, Mark, how you doing today?
Great, Fritz. Thanks for having me.
Oh, definitely a pleasure, man. Well, uh, I'm going to share some quick fact about, a typical, from my experience as an immigrant living in America. I know how very challenging it can be for a typical family making 30K to figure out how to save, how to invest, and still have enough to send back home. And it's very obvious that a lot of families in America, immigrant families to be specific, are struggling just to maintain that type of structure. And man, you brought to my attention KOK, and I've done some investment. I'm like, you know what? If I could pick your brain for a little bit just to share some knowledge and help educate and share that information, man, because that's what I'm always looking for, ways and opportunities to take back home. So, man, tell me a little bit about Coquin, man. What got you in the first place? And let's connect the dots for the people.
Well, the funny thing is, as you know, that I've been in finance for a great while. Owned several different real estate companies. Started out mostly in real estate, and then I ended up doing more of 50 million up to $1 billion projects, and you really meet and learn a great deal about how big business works and how investors look at these opportunities. And one of the three things they focus on in that type of opportunity is the team behind it. Can they pull it off? Are they the right people for the job?
Mm-hmm.
Number two is the liquidity. Do they have money? I mean, at the end of the day, are they putting in their own skin in the game? Do they have enough money to get them to where they need to be? And also the investment. And then the other one is can it bear the mark? Can the market bear it? Will it be introduced into the market easily? Is there a fit for it? And this met all of those. It's and especially too, me, I have a little bit of a passion. I'm very bothered by what I see in a great deal of our industries where there is a monopolization of communication, a monopolization of, let's
Right.
say, let's just put it this way: Google, Facebook, YouTube, all those. That's a monopoly on communication.
Yep.
And there's several things that have allowed to possibly create a disturbance in that market. One of them was blockchain technology that initiated through Bitcoin, but with that is these people creating these decentralized platforms where kind of a community and an organization are all involved in managing the process rather than an entity, rather than one individual company. So, and through this, you're going to be able to have access to all these different types of competitors that aren't going to be able to control what we say or what we do, which I'm a big fan of. And when I see things go on in the world today. And number two, I'm a big lover of passive income. I used to try to get people to invest a great deal of money into real estate or business projects. And we
Right.
were offering them anywhere between 5 and at best case scenario, 15% annually for their return, which is still phenomenal returns, but interest rates getting harder and harder to get higher rates these days. But and that's just because the Fed has a lower rate. But this opportunity had a tremendous, a phenomenal return if monthly rather than annually that I just couldn't match. So I had to take more of a look into it. And the person that brought this to me was somebody who I had tried to help finance a great deal of his large projects, and they were spending their time on this. So I had to take a look. And he was in Wall Street. He was in the market. So that's the reason I got in the first place, to really dive in and dig into it.
Makes sense. And the crazy thing is we may not even go into the technicality like the the resume, the people behind it. Because right now, to me, I've seen what it can do. I've seen the results because I'm actually an investor myself. And I'm just trying to relay the information. How do we move to get more people who's not even aware, especially immigrant family? Now, one of the key things that attracted me about KOK was the fact that there's a certain amount of guarantee that it presents unlike those other platforms. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, there is one guaranteed of stake, a guaranteed income, a rewards program, which actually pretty much all coins nowadays, besides Bitcoin, even Ethereum is going off of the old mining strategy and going to staking.
Right.
And to give a quick explanation, mining had a negative viewpoint, especially when people are becoming more environmentally conscious, because it requires an amount of energy in order to create something, and it's a great deal of energy that's consumed to create those Bitcoin value. So, although it's a fantastic structure, people wanted a different methodology, and staking is a manner where people can invest money or put in liquidity to kind of do the same thing. So the more people they get to stake, the more it replaces that old process of mining. So if that helps explain it a little bit. And for that, each one of these companies, Ethereum and all of them, are offering a return, kind of a yield or an annual rate of return. And I have friends that are investing in that. There's several different things that we invest in for long-term holds or for just a return on that investment, that yield. But the KOK coin was 10 times more than those. I mean, it was just phenomenal. It's not going to be that way for long. It used to be higher, and it's going to continue to decrease as the business flourishes. But right now, it's one of the best bangs for the buck. I was making, well, put it this way, I put in $10,000 initially, and so did my wife. And both of us made over $50,000 within the first 10 months. That wasn't from the stake. We were only guaranteed $700 a month on the stake, which was phenomenal. Right. But because we decided to keep the coin they paid us in, which really isn't even the basis of their company, but it's one of the extensions of it, because it went up so much, it just shot up our assets. So we've been pretty happy about it. So that is the guaranteed return. It's a guaranteed amount of coin they pay you based upon the US dollar. And that coin fluctuates what they pay you based upon the valuation at the time. And so every month, no matter what you're guaranteed, that's $700 worth every month. And they're giving me less and less coin because it's worth more and more. But all the coin I've received are now also worth tons more. So it's given us two different guarantees, one guarantee and one huge increase that we weren't expecting. And we're happy about.
Now, the beauty is there are no restrictions, so anyone can get involved. So it's just a matter of figuring out how much capital you have to invest, right? So ultimately, because of this video, is just me trying to explain more like how someone who's a particular immigrant who's worrying about sending $100 home, $200 home, not only can leverage their current saving account. Let's say you have a $10,000 saving account. Not only can leverage that, and as you just explained, they can look towards a $700 return per month. And on top of that, they still will benefit on the long-term value of the KOK coin.
Sure. And you can get a return off of much smaller investments, all the way down to $300 is the smallest investment they take. And with that investment, there's no long-term contracts, no problem getting your money out of it at any time. You can quit. And just the same at any time KOK can quit. Anytime KOK can say we no longer want to do this. So, and at some point they will.
It's not a guarantee forever. Right now, what is the average? What is it? Do they have a term on the guarantee term? Right, I'm assuming it's about
28.5 months. So no matter what, when you invest, let's say I invested $1,500 or $10,000. They're going to limit you on the return. You're going to limit it at 200%. So once I have received 200% from them on my stake, well, that's the mining that's going on, they're going to stop it. So I have a choice right then: remove my money or add more to keep that stake, keep that mining income coming to me. And we would probably add to it because we're going to keep on adding until they stop. I
course.
don't see any reason to get out of it. We're doing phenomenally.
So I mean, to me, that is the attractive thing about it. It's not that you're putting your money and you're risking that money. That investment you're making is not only guaranteed, it's there. You can take it out whenever you want because, like, there's no contract and there's no such thing. But think about the fact that instead of you used to worry about how do I come up with an extra 100, let's say you get that phone call from Haiti and there's a family emergency, there's a hospital, there's a school, there's there's food, there's all these situations. Now instead of you having to worry about how to squeeze your paycheck every 2 weeks or however often you get paid, now you already have a guaranteed return that you can count on and you can project, you can budget on.
Well, you can, and one of the I guess you could say, well, the slogans, but also one of the visions behind this plan was to be able to, well, put it this way, KOK realizes, and actually more and more companies are realizing, that the users are the most important asset. In Facebook, the users are we're the product. So, and all these businesses are trying to collect data. People think they have enough data. No, there's still tons of data. They want tons of data for years and years to come. Data for just the way our minds work, the way our brains work, data and everything. So these companies are trying to fight for our user experience and our data, but yet, more and more, we're probably feeling less loyalty and less desire to participate. As a matter of fact, I'd prefer not to participate in some of the platforms that I do, just because I don't like the organizations above me. So what KOK is offering is a decentralized one.
My thing is, I'm thinking, I'm putting myself in the shoes of a typical immigrant family, who maybe they got some savings, 5, 10, 15 grand. Now, even though they have that money sitting in a bank account, it's typically they get about maybe 2% return, 3% per year if you're lucky. And not only they're not getting much of a return for that money, they also still have to worry about how to squeeze enough cash to send back home, however often it is, every month, every 2 weeks, or whatever. Now, the idea is I want that typical family to be able to see, what, I have this money just sitting here. Here's how I can leverage it. You follow me? So there's a big
absolutely. Well, give you an example. It's one of the things I love about KOK too. Is not only did it pay me a great return, but what it also did is it incentivized. It gave me a reward if I told people about it, if I talked about it. Their basis of KOK is a platform that's about fair, share, and enable. They want a fair product, fair system. They want share. What does that mean? Well, that means that I'm wanting to share my experiences with other people and I'm getting rewarded that. And it's going to be a sharing community where all of us are invested in the community as users, where users will have power, not the people that are owning the stock or the shareholders. And more companies are realizing that users,
a small group, controlling the whole thing.
Well, absolutely. The argument of the 1% versus the 99, the users are having more value and they're paying the users to be a part of that process, which I like. So to get to your answer, that's one of those things is if I invested money, since I invested 10,000, my wife invested 10,000, not only did I make $700 off my own income and or off my own stake, and so did she, but I also made $700 off hers. So that gave me a very big reward for referring somebody to invest. Now, just think, and actually, I have examples. As you know, I know a lot of immigrants. I'm married to an immigrant. So and I know all immigrants send money home, whether it just be to cousins, relatives. Somebody's always sending money home at some point to help out, just because the currency is great over here and our dollar goes so much farther over in most of their countries. Yeah, so I mean, you can live high on the hog off $300 in American dollars, where here, you don't get much of that. So people are sending money back. Now, the people above me, the father was sending back, always sending his kids money. And so what he did is he put $10,000 into their accounts. So they had a KOK coin with $10,000 in it. They didn't put it in there. He put it in for them. That's his investment to them. He said, don't touch the 10.
Right.
but every month it's going to pay you $700 a month. Now, so $700 a month, they can pull out. They can pull out daily, weekly, whatever. There's always a fee, so you don't want to do it daily or weekly. There's a fee pulling out anything in the digital world, usually
Oh,
around
of course.
1%
Whenever
by
you move
average.
money, that's a fee.
But yeah, and it's going to get more and more like that in the future when they get rid of paper currency. But so they have the ability to pull out 700 a month. Now the beauty of it is that 10,000 still sits there. So the guy donates $10,000 to his kid. Could have been overseas, could have been here. That kid gets $700 a month for 28 months, and that $10,000 is still there after that 28-month period. But not only that,
Right.
that $10,000 he put into that account is also paying him $700, the father. So that's $1,400 income per month off 10 grand. That's great. So you're going to pay yourself back for helping out your son. So think of that if you are an immigrant family, as you are, that wanting to send money home. So you could go ahead and set up $1,500, $10,000, whatever it is, to an account in their name, and they'll have access to that money monthly. You'll also get a reward for it, and the initial investment is still sitting there that you guys can take back 28 months down the road. I mean, that's phenomenal. So instead of sending $300 or $500 a month, which is just an expense, I'm putting in 10 grand and it's sending them $700 a month. I'm getting 700 a month, and my 10 grand's still sitting there. I mean, you can't beat it.
Of course not. Well, I wasn't even going to expand into the additional benefits of sharing the network and getting more people involved. That's not, I mean, to me, that wasn't even like that wasn't even like the motivation for bringing you here today and having this conversation. It was for the fact that I know the typical situation where you are constantly worrying about, let me make sure I have a little something put away in case of emergency. And of course, when a phone call comes from Haiti or wherever your family is, whether it's the Dominican Republic, Cuba, or wherever, you still got to answer that phone call. And of course, you're not just going to sit there and watch them struggle or be in pain and not help them out. So, man, I don't know how many people is going to be happy to hear this message, but I can tell you this is a game changer.
Well, the fact that you can still help out your family, send them money, and actually get rewarded for doing so because you chose a method that happens to be very profitable to do, that's a great opportunity. So you're helping people, you're helping yourself, and you're creating an investment. Now, to me, I don't want to touch the coin that they pay me in. I wanted to keep that coin because I knew it would be worth more. Well, that was my gamble. I really love their business plan, and it has. Right. So they're taking out that money every month. When they're taking out every month, they're not going to recognize the increase in value. But so what? They still get the money. And again, that pain is not coming out of me every single month. I do it one time, and it's constantly giving. I put in that $10,000 account, and it's constantly giving them money, constantly for 28 months.
And through it all depends. You can I mean, when I got in, I was only thinking of a return, and then the light bulb went off. Like, whoa, dude, this is an opportunity. This is a game changer. And this approach. Of course, right now I'm trying to paint the picture for a typical family because I can relate as an immigrant, the son that grew up in America. But you're not limited. You can leverage this investment into many situations. And we can go down into the rabbit hole talking about how your investment where can you invest 10 grand right now and potentially return, 14, 1,500 a month?
Well, you can't. I mean, even in big real estate, people are paying a lot less of a return than this. And again, the return is going to go down, but it's still, even if it went down to 5%, that's still fantastic. It does change for the lower the amount. So like, let's say if you're only doing $300, you're getting 3% per month, but still 3% per month times 12 is 36% per year. 36% per year on an investment is amazing. It's amazing. So even that is beneficial. To me, when I got started, or most of the people I've talked to that were immigrants, my mother-in-law's from Indonesia, and she goes, well, everybody thinks everything's a scam. So, what do I do? I'm like, well, show them you made tons of money. Show them you get the money. She goes, well, I just want to know that I can take it out. And she really was worried she couldn't take out her money. And I'm like, you want me to show you can take out the money? She goes, yes. So I did. We took out money. And then she felt so much happier that she took out the exact amount that from her profit that she put in. You just could see the relief come over her eyes, because, you still wanted to believe it just couldn't be true. And you wanted to believe it wasn't a scam. Well, I said, you could have taken out the money anytime you want. You can always take out the money. Some people take it out every couple of weeks. I just don't take it out.
No, I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say, to me, I mean, that's a logical fear, because you hear a lot of things out there. You want to make sure the money you're investing is not just risking it. So would you recommend someone just if they on the edge, they can start with 300 and get familiar with the system, and then from that point on, they can determine how much further they want to go in?
Well, whatever makes them feel better. I mean, obviously, everyone I've brought this to, I've always tried to get it to do at least 1,500, because you get 5% per month rather than 300. And I'm not doing anything that I didn't do. I went straight to 10,000 because I wanted the 7%. So, I want people to get a better return, because I already know what's going to happen. They're going to see it. But, some people may not have $1,500 around to put in. They, right now that might hurt them. So that $300 still lets them see that they're getting paid daily, and they're watching it happen. And so they're realizing it's occurring. And as soon as they want to just see if they can take out some money, we can easily teach them how to do that on a trust wallet. There's digital wallets everywhere where you can have your own money in your own kind of locked savings account that nobody else has access to. And so they can go ahead and take out a tiny bit of money immediately. They can download it to your wallet. Boom. You can send it wherever you want. So they have access to take out the money. And I think it's important for some people just to know they can. And you can actually take it out while it's still in a KOK coin. So when you brought it to your wallet, you can keep it as a KOK coin because you believe it's going up. You can convert it, you can trade it, or you can send it to a trading account to get cash. Either way. And there's a lot of other things you can use that for. That coin you can buy gift cards for. You can, there's a lot of other tax saving and benefits implications, but that's for a whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can go further and further. And as a matter of fact, while we're on the topic, it's just another bell just rang in my head again, because there's something we do in the community. I know Haitians do it, Jamaicans do it. It's like community saving pools. So basically, every set amount of days, we all put in a specific amount of money into a pot. I mean, they call it ISO, they call it different names. We all put money into a specific pot, and then every time period when we put that specific money, there's a particular person in that group that collect that pot. Of course, it takes some trust. It takes you trusting that person. I mean, because I've seen where these pots as big as 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. So I'm like, this is common in the Haitian community. That's the way they save money. It's because they commit to a saving pool where every Friday or every 2 weeks they put X amount of money, and then they wait for their turn. And I'm like, a lot of time when they get this money, there's already a game plan for it, is to spend it or do whatever. This is another way again to pull even more capital out of that community and invest and actually have a bigger impact. So
yeah, and you're constantly increasing the amount of money. Well, yeah, and my wife's from China. Well, she's from Indonesia, but she's Chinese, and her culture is Chinese. But now over China, they all put in money and they charge like a 1% interest. So they know somebody out of their big group is going to borrow the money. So they just have to contribute it back and paying 1% per month on it. And so when I told her you can make 3% per month, even on 300, she's like, what? And so she was interested in finding out. But yeah, I think tons of immigrant cultures probably do the same and pooling that money together. Yeah. And yeah, why wouldn't you want to make money off that money? You're just going to simply want to know that you have a safe investment. And let's get to the heart of it. Why is this safe? This is not a cryptocurrency. Pretty much the majority of all cryptocurrencies out there there's really nothing behind them. They're a hope and a dream and a business plan. So I've never been a big fan of investing in crypto in general, but I am a fan of investing in digital currency because I believe it's the future of the world. You can see countries are starting to try to catch up. So no matter what, all countries are going to go to a digital currency soon. So Bitcoin has, I don't want to get into
Bitcoin.
Well, one country already made Bitcoin their currency standard.
Right.
That was, I believe, El Salvador, but I may be wrong, but I think it's El Salvador.
No,
Now, yeah. So, but Bitcoin has an entirely different business plan. I don't want to get into why I think long-term investment is smart. So does Ethereum. Ethereum is completely different. You can mix a crypto company with being a credit card transaction company and its evaluation along with other software, because actually all money trading in the crypto world in America is basically using Ethereum. So Ethereum has a heck of a lot more value in the long run. I think it's a smart investment, but it doesn't pay me at all the return, but it's still a lovely buy and hold for me. But if I'm looking for the return and to get a buy and hold, that's also where a portion is going to go into KOK play, and KOK's going to get that for me. I'm happier with my KOK play. But now talk about safety. I apologize to get off track. I feel safe with Ethereum and Bitcoin because of what's behind them, not because of the fact that they're a digital currency. American currencies, there's really not a lot behind that besides our military power, which is mighty. But we've also forced it into the marketplace. Well, that's what I like about KOK and what they're doing. They're forcing their coin into the marketplace because it's a digital content platform. They have movies, video games, hotels, all these different investments and transactions can be made through their system, and they're growing and growing. That's their point. They're just at the baby stage right now, the infant stage. And so you actually have a reason to transact. So it wasn't a company that created a coin. It was a huge infrastructure business plan that created a coin to complement what they were doing, and the coin has its own valuation. So you're going to be able to use that coin everywhere, and that's what I love is the utilization. That's what gives something value, and that's what you're seeing Bitcoin finally do right now is force themselves into the market for more and more transactions, and I think that solidifies their value personally.
Big time.
Yeah,
now,
but to get back, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to dive into a couple of other questions just to kind of solidify some of the key things I think people might want to know. So I don't know if you have an additional statement you want to make.
I do. Let me just resurface one thing. When the company was created, very big players in all different types of tech industry in Korea. It's a Korean-based company. They already had billions and billions of dollars behind them through their investors. So that's and a real company with that money behind them. So there's actually someone to sue, something to go after, not a crypto. But with that in mind, then Medium came and bought them up, and boy, that dollar value really skyrocketed too at that time. But Medium, it's really important to get into, is the fastest blockchain in the world. Blockchain is the foundation of the future of artificial intelligence and the metaverse, which I'm sure you guys have now started to hear about, because that's coming faster than people are aware of. And it's the key to, put it this way, it's one of the keys to storage, because it's extremely complicated to hack, unlike every other system out there, extremely complicated. So anyway, to give you an idea, there's so much behind this company. The coin is just another tiny piece of it, to what they pay us, they already recoup from their advertising. So they actually get a benefit by us staking if you start to learn the way the cryptocurrencies world is working. I won't go there right now, but they get a benefit by it. That's why we get paid, but they're paying us out of profit. And really, we're going to be a big asset because we're all users, we're all members, and we're all going to be loyal. So, and who's not loyal to somebody that pays them rewards, So, but
there's one of the ways to get loyalty.
Well, yeah, and people will say, well, what if they go out of business? Well, there's no need to go out of business. If they were running into a financial crisis, they would just stop paying us. They go, hey, thank you. Well, we can't afford to pay
money
anymore.
Back.
Well, yeah, take your money back. So they don't need to. If they're running into problems, all they got to do is decrease the amount they pay us, and that's fine. I'll still keep it. Even if they decrease it to 2%, I'm still getting more than I am most other investments.
And I'm sure
I wouldn't be as excited. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they're giving me a fantastic return, but they can get out of any time we want.
The sense of urgency is now. So if you're going to get in and trying to max out whatever you can, is to get in, because there's no actual
Oh yeah, we're very upset. Yeah, we're very upset we didn't put in more. But you never just want to throw all your eggs in one basket. So we don't.
uh,
But I wish we would have gotten a lot more earlier and made tons more. I've got people that I know that put in 100,000. They made 7,000 a month off 100 grand. They referred a couple friends with 100,000. And I didn't refer
so
anyone.
basically,
As
there's
you
no limit, right? To your maximum investment.
No, there's no limit to it. Besides your own fear, that's it. And some people just dug into it and made a lot more money.
And that's why we say,
My
don't take what we say for it. Contact whoever you can regarding how to get involved, because I'm assuming, well, not that I'm assuming. I know for a fact you can't just go in and sign up on your own. Somebody needs to lead you on.
well, you can now go in and sign up because Medium took over. Medium changed the platform, so it's very urgent that nobody goes and tries to download the app or anything else but through the person that referred them. Otherwise, you're going to mess it all up, and it's not changeable easily afterwards. It all connects to one cell number. So make sure that you sign up with all the information. There's a referral code direct for the person that referred you, so they get credit. Please make sure you do that. Don't you can you used to not be able to, but ever since I think several months ago, now you can, because I've had somebody do that, and it's very complicated to switch it back. They just had to get a whole new number and start all over again and cancel the other account.
So basically, your phone number is attached to that one account, and once you basically
correct. And you're not supposed to have more than one account. Granted, they don't care until you put in money. Once they find out you have more than one account, you could be kicked out of the whole system. And one of the reasons is the advertisers that are paying them all this good money. I mean, they got big time advertisers, BMW. You've got you got luxury jewelry, you got all the different car dealerships. So they're making a lot of money off advertising. And one of the ways they do so is they promise that they're going to have one user per phone number, not 18 email addresses per user or something like that. It's easy. So they can guarantee their advertising platforms that they have not only just users, but users that have a little bit of money they've even invested. So their quality of advertising is much higher. They're going to get more money for advertising for that purpose.
And just to add a little bit more credibility to how being involved, because typically in the immigrants community, typically there's in the cash exchange and for most transactions, right? And typically, if you're making an investment, you got to go see somebody, make a deposit, give a check. This whole process is completely automated. So you shouldn't have to interact physically with no cash exchange with anyone, which is add another level of security and safety to the investment process.
Well, and anytime you're going to get into crypto and you're new to it, it's going to be a little confusing. And again, it's not crypto, but it's the easiest way to define it, because we're staking for the crypto purpose. But anytime you get into it, because it's new technology, and if you're not used to trading, you're not used to the trading platform. So it can sound confusing or complicated. It isn't, but it is obviously your first time doing it. So transferring the money in there, has to be done through a trading platform. But yes, you watch it all happen. And anyway, people better start getting used to that, because that is the future. Everything's going to be digital, period. There's no way around it. You can see that, so-called accidentally, they're stopping having coin and dollars being able to be used at stores. That's not accidentally. That's being done on purpose. So they're getting us used to it. So yeah, I mean, they're going to take away the cash currency from us very soon. So get used to it. So it's not very complicated. You just have a trading account where the money's sent into KOK. As a matter of fact, we've created step-by-step videos to walk you through every part of it. You see screenshots, you know what you're doing, very easy. And there's always someone, and that is the reason this is a nice share equity situation. Well, you've done it before, and that's why you're going to help that person. They can go to you, you can walk them right through it, or you can do it for them. You can sign up for them. So
I'm taking the responsibility to, after this video, is to do another video in Creole. So this is target specifically the people that I want to grab their attention. Truthfully, I'll take some of the responsibility of helping them out, because I think it's worth it.
Well, now you'd asked me a question, Runs, that you said that somebody needed to know an answer to, and that was how fast can you have access to your money? The if people understand the crypto world, everything has to be done through Ethereum in the United States. If you are in the United States, outside everything's cheaper. United States more expensive to trade, a lot more expensive to trade. So if you're able to have trading done outside the United States, you should. But here in the States, when you're transferring that money, since it's more expensive here, they're only going to transfer out once a day. So when you want to pull out your money, you're not going to get it instantly, but you will get it within 24 hours because they're waiting for the moment to do all transactions where it's cheapest, put it that way, because they're guaranteeing us as low as a 1% rate. So they got to make sure they don't lose money on sending that out. And I'm fine with that. I don't need it in a second. Doesn't mean you can't spend that money once you've taken it out through and hold it in your wallet, you can spend it. But if you want to take money directly out of the KOK platform, it could take several hours up to total 12 to 24 hours. So that's how fast you can get access to the money. And then once you've taken it out, well, it's where you ever put it, where you sent it to.
And this investment is not limited to just USA. Basically, regardless of what country, whatever country you're in, as long as you can.
No, USA isn't even a USA. It's a Korean-based company. It's probably more throughout Asia than it is USA. I mean, they don't even have a lot of USA marketing material or a lot of USA. I mean, there's a big, huge gathering going on this week. As a matter of fact, where I'm living in Atlanta, and I know all the big players who I met just recently, and I'm not invited because it's all in Korean. So we're the little stepchildren. America's not important here. And we're not going to really see all the products immediately. As they grow, we will. But I'm sure it'll be a year before we see products we could buy in America. Now all the products are mostly in Korea. And it's going to be in parts of Asia. That's going to be their target first. But I don't really care about that. I just care about the business plan.
So again, just to reiterate that, how do you get more information, how to move forward?
Well, the best way to do it actually is go directly to the person that referred you, period. And so on this video, I will go ahead and send them a link to that just to get a hold of you, or a best way to do so. That is, though, always go to the person. And the reason isn't anything. If they don't know the answer, they're going to find out and they need to learn. So go to the person that referred you. They'll have access to all to videos, to step-by-step tutorials, or anything you need, including everything as much as the business plan to a white paper on the initial startup of the company and what their plan was. And they are meeting all their objectives. As a matter of fact, they're exceeding their objectives, which is great from a business plan point of view, if you care. And so besides that, any other questions you have?
No, man, I actually, I really want to thank you for taking this time. And I'm looking forward to do more videos to share more details and share more information about KOK. So definitely, if you can subscribe, go ahead, subscribe, put a like, save the video, or put on the notifications so whenever get new videos that popped out, you get notified. But again, man, being an immigrant myself, to see the opportunity to use this platform and share with my fellow Haitian families to figure out, man, how can we make proper investment that has better guarantees, that's safe and secure. So, and the fact that KOK serves all the purposes in regards to save and invest and, have access to capital. Man, I want to thank you for taking the time to, answer some of my questions and help me expand the knowledge a little bit more.
My pleasure. And the last thing I'll leave you with is the majority of the people that hear this take about a month and a half to finally join, and they are always kicking themselves. I was kicking myself by not referring people and not even going to the headquarters. I didn't even know we had a headquarters, actually. And then when I finally went there, I learned so much more. I got so much more excited. I'm like, wow, this is going to boom. And I was already happy just with the return. I didn't join for the other reasons, but now I'm a big fan of it because of the other reasons. So
I mean, I put in just seeing the return. I wasn't even thinking of the extra additional benefits that was available at the moment.
No, absolutely not. And yes, time is of the essence. It's not going to happen forever. They are not going to do this for more than the next several years. So don't wait. Absolutely. If you need to be concerned, start out with only 1,500 or something like that, but you'll see the money coming in daily, not monthly, daily. It's very easy to feel good once you see the money coming in. But besides that, thank you, my friend, and best wishes to you and to your audience.
Definitely to you too, man. Have a great day.
You too.